for the holiday weekend. So some good news for your Memorial Day plans. Hurricane season is almost here. Local 10 wants you to be prepared. Make sure you watch our hurricane special. It's going to air Friday night at 8 p.m. Staying storm safe. Calvin and Lori?
Okay, thanks a lot, Betty. We will.
Yes, and it looks not too bad. Well, divers are rescued off South Florida's coast.
Coming up at 4:30, more of the video just released by the crews who brought those people to safety.
Plus, new information about an ocean tragedy, what we're learning about the victims and the lone survivor in this case after their boat capsized.
And today at 5.
My job is to make sure that I uphold the law.
Courthouse controversy.
Is this favoritism?
Is this judge using the power of the bench to pay back her own campaign consultant?
This looks suspicious.
Local 10's Bob Norman investigates. Today at 5 on Local 10 News. Local 10 Sports with Will Manso.
Well, the critics of that guy, LeBron James, had a lot to talk about this week, especially after his poor performance in Game 3 against Boston. LeBron, though, as he normally does, bouncing back now and is just one win away from his 7th straight NBA Finals. Cavs in that Game 4 against the Celtics. LeBron, though, the critics loving this, missing a dunk, that's rare, but then again, after that miss, you knew he'd bounce back. Celtics actually had the lead for much of this game. By the fourth quarter, though, Cavs start to roll. Check out this move by LeBron. I'm with Calvin. I think he may have carried on that one. There was some definitely, watch right there. You know what, though? It's all good. Still an amazing move. He had 34. Kyrie Irving had 42. Cavs win, so they lead the series 3-1. Marlins are just underway in Oakland, and Edinson Volquez thinking, oh, boy, my season's going to keep on going like this. Entered the game with an 0-6 record. In the first inning, he gives up a 2-run home run to Chris Davis. Right now, the Marlins are trailing the A's 2-0 that game in the 3rd inning. And the Miami Hurricanes have a day off before they face Wake Forest tomorrow in the ACC tournament. Canes on Tuesday got a big win, a much-needed win. Hunter Tackett hit the grand slam against Georgia Tech, but it was in the 13th inning where the Canes finally won it. Joe Gomez, the walk-off single. Canes won 6-5 and 13, keeping their postseason hopes alive. Miami trying to pick up win again to make that NCAA tournament. Calvin, Lloyd?
Okay, thanks a lot, Will. Wow.
And that'll do it for us at 4 o'clock.
Let's go to Janine and Victor now with a look at what's happening at 4:30, guys.
Calvin, Lori, thanks so much. Here's what's coming up all new at the bottom of the hour.
The day after an ocean tragedy, what we've learned about the victims and about the only survivor.
Meanwhile, rescue crews say a group of divers off the coast of Jupiter, they've saved them. The video you have to see.
And it's going to be a busy weekend on Miami Beach. We'll tell you what the city is doing to prepare for some major crowds. Those stories and much more coming up on Local 10 News at 4:30.
Stick around. We'll be right back.
Off the top at 4:30, we begin with a severe weather alert. All eyes are on the radar as Broward County is under a severe thunderstorm watch.
Let's get right to Betty Davis, our chief certified meteorologist, with what you need to know about the storms. Betty.
Hi, everyone. A watch means that conditions are ripe for severe storms to develop, though we don't have any going out there for the moment. That could change. So the threshold we're looking at for damaging winds is pretty high. We won't rule out isolated tornadoes, although that's more so rising up toward the medium level, the chance for that happening. Can't rule out lightning and hail as well. Bottom line, be on guard for some severe weather developing, especially in parts of Broward County where the severe thunderstorm watch is in effect until 11 o'clock tonight. We're just now starting to see some showers develop in the western portion of this county. So far, they are not severe, and they will tend to move pretty quickly toward the northeast. So things are just now starting to get going out there. We'll keep an eye around Miami-Dade too. In fact, all of South Florida, because into tomorrow we have the chance for more showers and storms out there. And I'll meet you back here in a few minutes to talk a lot more about this stormy forecast. Victor?
We'll see you then, Betty. Thank you. And also at 4:30, the day after an ocean tragedy, investigators are trying to figure out what caused a boat to capsize, ultimately killing 2 people. We brought it to you live yesterday as breaking news.
And now we are learning more about those victims. Local 10 News reporter Todd Tongan live on Dania Beach for us.
Janine, as Victor mentioned, you saw that dramatic rescue attempt yesterday by U.S. Coast Guard officials. In fact, that vessel only about a half a mile from where I'm standing today. Sadly, we learned about 2 of the victims and the lives they left behind.
I'm very shocked. I just found out a couple of hours ago, and I am very, very shocked.
I can't believe it. I still can't believe it.
Neighbors are stunned at the sudden and tragic death of 49-year-old John Blount. The husband and father of three was on a fishing trip yesterday with friends Eric Pilgrim and Thomas Rodriguez. When the trio tried to tie up to a mooring buoy in rough seas, their 22-foot open fisherman capsized, ejecting the men into the water. Sadly, Blount and Pilgrim died, but Rodriguez was rescued by a passing boater. Sky 10 was overhead as first responders found the men floating face down in the water. The Blount family was too grief-stricken to speak, but released a statement saying, "John was a loving and dedicated husband and father. My sister and John were married for 22 years and have 3 beautiful daughters. Our family is devastated by this tragedy. We are trying to take comfort in the fact that he died doing what he loved, fishing." A neighbor confirmed Blount was an experienced angler.
I know that him and his neighbor next door, they used to go out deep sea fishing and things like that. So he loved the fish.
The Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission is investigating, but at this point it appears to be an accident, and by all accounts, Eric Pilgrim and John Blount will be missed.
He loved his family. He was always at home, and he was always with his 3 girls.
We're told that survivor, Mr. Rodriguez, was brought here to the Coast Guard station. He was uninjured and is expected to be just fine. The boat has been brought here to the Coast Guard station. It didn't appear to have any damage to it other than it was a sinking vessel. At the Coast Guard station, Todd Tongan, Local 10 News.
Todd, thank you. 7 divers stranded at sea are now safe thanks to the quick thinking of a Good Samaritan and the Palm Beach Sheriff's deputies. New video captures the scene as those divers were struggling in the water. This happened earlier today, and as you can see, a dive boat arrived and they were able to get in. A Good Samaritan rescued 5 of them while a Marine unit helped get the other 2 divers. We're told no one was seriously hurt. Here's a map to give you a better description of where they were looking for those divers. They disappeared at around 11 a.m. about 5 miles east of the Jupiter Inlet. And right now, everyone is getting ready for a big holiday weekend, Memorial Day.
Thousands of people will travel somewhere this weekend, and Miami Beach is getting ready for it all. That's where we find Local 10 News reporter Leanne Morejon. She's live now to tell us what's
Well, there's no sophistication.
Well, Janine and Victor, we know, of course, you're going to have the Urban Beach Week parties. Those are now famous here, but this weekend we're also going to have an LGBTQI human rights conference. That's going to be at the convention center, and on top of all of that, a first-time event here on the beach. It's called the National Salute to America's Heroes Air and Sea Show. Now let's take you to some video. This is the scene we're used to having here on Miami Beach. It's what this weekend has looked like in years past. The addition of the Air and Sea Show this year is meant to honor the men and women who sacrificed to protect our country. City officials say it's a family-friendly event. They say both families and young partiers will be able to coexist here on South Beach, but they do admit that having all of this on the same weekend is sort of unprecedented here on the beach for Memorial Day weekend. So they're using their best judgment to prepare and to make sure that everyone's going to have a good time, and they're optimistic.
But it being the first year of the Air and Sea Show, we don't have a template for how to handle it. So we're doing our best to anticipate when the crowds will be here and how to manage what we think the biggest challenge is going to be, which is traffic.
I think we can manage it. I think it's good for the hotels and the tourism economy. You know, we've had a tough last year, and I think trying to get our locals to come back to this beautiful 7-mile swath of beach and enjoy it is important. So I think we can make it work.
They think they can make it work, and here's part of how. Of course, we know that they do reroute traffic here, and Ocean Drive will become a pedestrian-only zone from 7 a.m. Friday until 7 a.m. Monday. The 24-hour traffic loop runs from Friday at 7 p.m. until Monday at 7 a.m. and that means Washington Avenue will be southbound only from 5th to 15th Streets, and Collins Avenue will be northbound only from 5th to 17th Streets. Coming back out live, you see here there are cars on Ocean Drive. That will not be the case. As I mentioned, this will be pedestrians only, no cars allowed. Coming up at 5:30, we'll let you know how officials say things have changed since the times of controversial police-involved shootings, sometimes rowdy, even dangerous conditions. We'll let you know what they think has contributed to a change in the vibe and safety here on the beach on Memorial Day weekend, and why they want locals to come. That's coming up at 5:30. For now, we're live on South Beach. Leanne Morejon, Local 10 News.
Leanne, thanks. Detectives are right now searching for clues in a murder mystery that left one man dead in Northwest Miami-Dade. This happened yesterday along Northwest 82nd Street and 25th Avenue. That victim was walking down the street when he was struck and killed by a gunman. Police believe it may have been a drive-by shooting. That victim has been identified as 18-year-old Javante Jackson. He was rushed to the hospital in critical condition but did not survive. If you know anything that can help, call police.
Detectives are working to identify a body that was found at Hollywood Beach. Sky 10 flew above the scene earlier today along South Ocean Drive, where that body was covered in a white tarp. We're told by police that a man who was out walking on that beach found it and called for fire rescue. The cause of death is under investigation. And the man is now recovering after his bike ride came to a crashing end on the Rickenbacker Causeway. It appears that he was riding with a large group of bikers when he was hit by a truck. The victim could be seen there treated by first responders for his injuries. His bike was also damaged, but it looks like he was not seriously hurt. And right now it's 4:37. We're dealing with some problems on I-95 affecting both northbound and southbound traffic.
Janice Fernandez is right here. Janice, what do you see?
Let's start with southbound, where there is a crash right at Northwest 79th Street. Now, this is the view. You can see that crash is off to the shoulder. Now, traffic is getting by, but it is going to be a little stop and go, especially around that exit. So let's zoom on in closer to get a better look and see what those delays look like. Again, that crash on I-95 southbound right at Northwest 79th Street, 33 miles per hour, not too terrible, and it looks like speeds will definitely start to pick up as you pass that exit. However, on I-95 northbound, we do have this broken down car at Northwest 151st Street. This broken down car is blocking a right lane and speeds along the I coming in at 19 miles per hour. Janine?
Janice, thanks. A monumental debate in St. Louis. Two groups of protesters clashed right in front of a Confederate monument about whether or not it should be removed. Supporters of the monument say they were there to represent the Confederates who fought in the Civil War. Opponents were seen spitting on it and told the other group that it glorifies those who wanted to retain slavery.
We're actually seeing a man going off to war, and he's being blessed by the angel of the Confederacy. This is what this symbolism is. So it's glorifying this man who's fighting for his family. But in reality, what he was actually doing was he was fighting to keep black families in chains.
And I think it's a beautiful work of art, and I don't want it, in the midst of political battles that might be gone in 2 years, to see the monument be permanently damaged.
That monument is more than 100 years old. A city leader introduced a bill earlier this month to have it removed.
What a day for the folks at the Miami Beach Police Department. The first African-American officer in Miami Beach history was honored today, 4 months after he passed away. Local 10 Samantha Bryant was there for the ceremony.
He was the epitome of a gentleman, in uniform and out of uniform.
To his officers, he was Smitty. But in 1964, something else about then Officer Smith caught the public's eye.
There were two water fountains, the white and the colored. The then chief made sure that when he finished the police academy, there was only one water fountain.
He was the first African-American Miami Beach officer.
He was a black cop in a black neighborhood where nobody liked cops. But he knew that he was doing the right thing.
He served in the Miami Police Department until 1990. Today, they renamed this room after him in honor of his service. Major James Smith was a community man, so it's fitting that this room be named after him for his dedication to the force and courage to defy historic color lines.
My father showed me to respect people. You give the respect and you demand respect back.
Their adoration, a testament to his legacy. In Miami Beach, Samantha Bryant, Local 10 News.
Still ahead, a mystery involving a gravesite.
After the break, what one cemetery is doing after a body was found in the wrong grave. And we have an important recall to tell you about right after the break. Why you may want to look at your child's car seat.
And in your HealthCast, Local 10 health specialist Christy Kruger explains why drinking 8 glasses of water a day may not be as healthy as you think.
And coming up a little bit later, we have highlights from the big Dancing with the Stars finale.
He's met with the Pope in Vatican City, and tomorrow morning his first overseas trip continues. I'm JC Birch.
And I'm Eric Yutzi. You watched it this morning. He made his way from the Pope to the Prime Minister.
And now he will be in Brussels to meet with members of the EU and even NATO. We'll bring it to you as it happens.
In South Florida, more wet weather could be in the forecast. You got to watch your weather authority for all the details.
And I'm Nicole Perez. I'll be watching your commute all morning long. Join us tomorrow starting at 4:30 a.m. right here on Local 10.
A grave mistake in Texas. A family was ready to bury a loved one, but a stranger was already in the plot they were planning to use. That plot was purchased more than 30 years ago. A man was planning to bury his mother next to his father. When that grave was being dug, the mystery casket was unearthed.
Right now, I'm ticked. My family ticked about what happened here and what has occurred here.
She lived a good long life. She deserved to have a nice burial.
So the owner of the cemetery says he'll now work to determine who is in that other casket, which has been exhumed. The owner also says the cemetery has been around for 100 years and some old records just aren't accurate. But the family isn't buying that as an excuse.
Now to a wildfire in Washington state. People living in nearly 170 homes were told to evacuate yesterday. About 40 acres have been burned in Leavenworth, and the Red Cross set up shelter for people who had to leave their homes. And a tornado left a path of destruction 14 miles long in North Carolina. At least one person was injured yesterday when an EF1 tornado struck. Winds hit speeds of 110 miles per hour. A state of emergency was declared and a curfew is in place until further notice.
Right now, let's take a peek outside from our Ocean Key Resort cam in Key West at Mallory Square. It's a little hazy there. It's been a little windy and rough and
hot, just all around hot. Usually at this point of the day, we're not above 90, but we're at 91 right now. Let's bring Betty Davis. What's going on?
It feels like temperatures around 100 this afternoon. Mainly quiet in most of your neighborhoods for now, but that certainly could change as Broward County is under a severe thunderstorm watch until 11 o'clock tonight. Right now, we see 91 degrees in Miami, and the winds are from the south-southwest sustained 10 to 20 miles per hour. It's as though someone has a fan turned on, and that fan is just blowing a lot of warm air over us and pumping in a lot of deep moisture. The forecast for the evening, though you don't see a whole lot of rain showing up in this Skycast model, notice the icons and those flashes of lightning. So there is that chance for some shower and thunderstorm activity out there this late afternoon and into the evening too. Therefore, we're keeping close watch on the Doppler radar. Already noting the storm starting to develop in western areas of Broward County. I'll zoom in on what we're now working with. These storms are starting to build up a bit more. You can see some lightning strikes occurring with this one. Here's one and there's another, some lightning occurring with that one. Let's turn on a track and see if there's anything we need to be concerned about happening inside these storms. So the one that is now developing the lightning, of course, there's some rainfall associated with it. And as far as that potential probability of hail, that now jumping up to 70%. And here are the areas that are going to be impacted by this storm. It's going to head up into Palm Beach County. So around 5:45, Wellington will be one of those spots impacted by those storms. So it may just miss. It looks like it will miss a lot of our counties or our regions here in Broward County. But Palm Beach has to get ready for that one. And it's moving quickly toward the northeast around, say, 30-40 miles per hour. But as I mentioned, though you don't have anything over the populated areas of Broward now, you are under a severe thunderstorm watch until 11 o'clock tonight. Even around Miami-Dade, we won't rule out a few showers or storms developing here. And then tomorrow there could be more because look at what's lurking offshore. You see this line extending from about Fort Myers back over the Gulf of Mexico waters. That's associated with the actual cold front just ahead of that front. So we still have to push that through, and that won't start to happen for South Florida until tomorrow. That is why you're going to notice that rain chance still pretty high as we're moving into our Thursday. So check out the 7-day planner. 60% chance of rain on Thursday, and then the rain chance comes down to 30% on Friday. So the weekend actually does look drier, which is going to be good for all your barbecues and family reunions out there, but it stays hot. By the way, hurricane season is almost here. It starts June 1st. Local 10 wants you to be prepared. Make sure you watch our hurricane special, Staying Storm Safe. That's going to air this Friday night at 8. Victor.
Looking forward to it. Betty, thank you. Now to some developing news out of the Philippines. More than a dozen people, including a Catholic priest, have been abducted and are now being held hostage by Muslim extremists. The abduction is just the latest crime committed by radicals who have laid siege to the entire city. Local media reporting that the violence is in response to a raid in the town targeting a high-ranking terrorist commander. They are demanding government forces to retreat. Meanwhile, President Rodrigo Duterte has declared martial law in that part of the country, leading to heightened security, including checkpoints. The extremists responsible for the siege were reportedly waving ISIS flags. They've also occupied a hospital and a jail. In a speech this morning, Duterte said that he had no choice but to impose martial law, saying, quote, "I cannot gamble with ISIS."
Now to a recall alert, more than 25,000 car seats are being recalled by the company Graco. The company says that the seat's webbing may not properly restrain a child in the event of a crash. Graco says owners will be notified and a replacement harness will be provided free of charge. To see if your car seat is on that list, log on to our website, local10.com. Now to your health news. We've all heard that it's good for our health to drink 8 glasses of water a day, but that might all depend on what kind of water you're drinking. Local 10 medical specialist Christy Kruger explains in our Healthcast.
Well, everywhere you look these days, people are walking around with bottled water, right? But if it contains bubbles, beware. While sparkling waters are all the rage, those bubbles could be bad for your teeth. What makes the water fizzy is something called carbonic acid, which makes the pH of the water go down.
So what that means is the pH becomes a smaller number and it becomes more acidic. So in general, when your mouth is more acidic, that leads to erosion of the enamel surface of your teeth, which is something that never grows back. So we want to be really sure that we're, keeping it really nice and healthy.
Some flat waters can also be pretty hard on your teeth, so to be sure, check out those labels. And you can even do a simple water test to know exactly what you are drinking. Also in today's Healthcast, concerns about another bubbly beverage. Women who are pregnant or nursing are urged not to drink large amounts of tonic water. That contains an ingredient called quinine.
Quinine is an alkaloid, so it can affect your kidneys, it can affect your vision, it can give you headaches, seizures, can cross the placenta. So if we have a pregnant lady drinking too much quinine, there was a case where a baby was born with seizures, and they attributed that to the mother drinking too much tonic water.
Despite cautions from the Food and Drug Administration, some people still use quinine pills to treat leg cramps, which is also associated with an increased risk of death. Prescription forms of the drug are still used to treat malaria. With your Healthcast today, I'm Christy Kruger.
Still ahead, shocking video from the Chicago area where 2 girls are caught fighting in the hallway.
Coming up on Local 10 News at 5, how the victim is doing after being stabbed with a pair of scissors. But first, we'll have all your highlights from last night's big Dancing with the Stars finale.
Local 10 News and World News Tonight. 2 trusted news sources. 1 powerful news team. Turn to Local 10 tonight at 6. Parents, listen up. A major teacher shortage is causing concerns for the next school year. But there is hope. What's the silver lining? Lori Jennings, Kelvin Hughes, and Local 10 News, covering South Florida like no one else. World News Tonight with David Muir, bringing you stories that keep you connected with the world. Local 10 News and World News Tonight, your evening news team.
Rashad and Emma.
There you have it. The new winner of Dancing with the Stars has been crowned. Rashad Jennings and his partner Emma Slater took home that Mirror Ball trophy.
Local 10's Nicole Perez has all the big moments from that finale that aired right here on Local 10.
Rashad Jennings is the 4th football star to take the prize, but there was shock on the dance floor before the winner was announced.
Rashad and Emma.
Football star Rashad Jennings scored Dancing with the Stars' ultimate touchdown with his partner Emma Slater, the Mirror Ball trophy.
It's a special moment for me that you can't really top it.
It makes us feel amazing. Like, we're so grateful to be here. We're just grateful to be, no matter we won or not. We both decided that we'd had the best journey ever.
Of gaining friends and earning respect of people and getting to tell my story and encourage people, and learn how to dance.
Baseball star David Ross and his partner Lindsay Arnold feel just as great, finishing second.
I'm so happy, yes.
I'm so happy for Emma and Rashad. I'm sorry,
I was so happy.
So happy. They're so deserving, and it's so cool to see that.
I was beyond thrilled.
Yes.
It was such a sense of relief, just the fact that, I wanted to win for her, but I feel like the other, couples were more deserving, and so I just wanted to pan out the way it's supposed to, and it did, and I'm so happy for that.
Normani and Val.
There was some shock in the ballroom when it was announced singer Normani Corday, a front-runner all season, with her partner Val, finished 3rd. But Normani was graceful and at peace with how it all ended.
I recognize that we did absolutely everything that we could have possibly done, and I had an amazing journey. We created art and things that I'm really proud of and things that I can show my kids in the future.
Dancing with the Stars returns in September for season 25, and you can watch that right here on Local 10.
Rashad Jennings was like, I don't need a shirt, just a sparkly jacket.
Right?
It's fine with me.
Should have gone with that look today.
Yeah.
Would have scared everybody at home, though.
Maybe for 5:30? Maybe not.
Nope.
That's going to do it for Local 10 News at 4:30.
Here, Lori and Calvin, back for the news at 5.
Okay, thanks a lot.
And right now at Local 10 News at 5, severe thunderstorm watch in Broward County. Your weather authority watching this one closely.
Checkpoint changes are coming to South Florida airports. We'll tell you what's going to be different the next time you fly.
We're learning more about the bomber and the terror attack in Manchester as police make more arrests in connection with that deadly bombing.
Heartbroken relatives mourn the death of an 18-year-old man who was killed in a gas station inferno in Dania Beach.
More violence in Venezuela today. Protesters running for cover as police and soldiers lob tear gas into the crowds filling the streets.
Plus, a high school student has been arrested after this fight was caught on camera. We'll tell you why she's now facing serious charges. Local 10 News at 5 o'clock starts right now.
Live, the one and only Local 10 News starts right now.
Right off the top at 5, a live look for you outside from our Fort Lauderdale tower cam as we get ready for what could be a stormy night. All of Broward County right now is under a severe thunderstorm watch, and that lasts until 11 p.m.
Your Weather Authority Chief Certified Meteorologist Betty Davis is tracking the radar for us today.
Hi everyone. The weather already taking a nasty turn across so much of Florida, noting that that severe thunderstorm watch still includes a good portion of central Florida and does extend down into parts of South Florida as well. As you guys just outlined, Broward County, Palm Beach County until 11 o'clock tonight. We're just now starting to see a couple of thunderstorms develop over western and inland areas of Broward, right over US 27, even near Weston. We're noting a little shower action developing there. I'll zoom in, and you're probably taking note of this storm up in north central Broward that's producing the lightning. Let's see what's going on with this one and give you a better idea for where this is going to be headed. It's generally racing off toward the northeast. Now it looks like it's going to miss most areas as far as our communities in Broward County and be a Palm Beach County problem, and so far it's not necessarily severe, but we still have to keep an eye on things, not just over Broward, but also Miami-Dade too, as here too we could have some scattered showers and storms developing. I'll be back with a lot more coming up.
Okay, Betty, thanks. There are checkpoint changes happening at airports all across the country today, including here in South Florida. Local 10's Carlos Suarez is live now at Miami International Airport to explain what might be different the next time you fly. Carlos.
The expected changes are an effort by the TSA to cut down on the number of carry-on bags that go through a second round of screening. It is separate from the current laptop ban that is in place on flights to the U.S. from some countries in the Middle East. The changes in security screening is several months away. The new guidelines are being tested at airports across the country, and they'll focus on carry-on bags. The Transportation Safety Administration will ask passengers to take more things out of their bags. The less items in your luggage, the clearer the image TSA agents will see on their X-ray screens.
I understand the reason for the security. Sometimes it's a little bit hard on the travelers, but you know, I get it. I'm not going to complain about it too much, so we'll see what's new and improved this time around.
Currently, passengers are asked to take out laptops, tablets, and large electronics and place them in individual bins. The list is now expected to include anything larger than a cell phone and food. The most significant change will be TSA agents will no longer manually check your ID. Instead, a machine will verify whether that ID is real. The expected changes won't affect passengers with pre-check. Oh, so you're part of pre-check.
Right.
So you never have to take out your laptop, your...
I used to.
Is that why you got pre-check?
That's right.
All right, now these new machines will generate all of the information that's associated with that traveler, and then that TSA agent will make sure that it corroborates. The new testing guidelines are already being tested at airports across the country, including at Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport. We're told that they're not expected to go into effect until after the busy summer travel season. We are live this afternoon outside Miami International Airport. I'm Carlos Suarez, Local 10 News.
Okay, Carlos, thanks a lot.
And now to the latest on the terror in Manchester. Police making more arrests just today, including the brother of the suicide bomber.
And we're also learning more about Salman al-Beidi as investigators identify all 22 victims of Monday's blast. Janine is in our newsroom now with the latest on the investigation. Janine.
Calvin Lurie, British authorities confirming today the bomber, 22-year-old Salman al-Beidi, did not act alone. Police conducting raids in Abedi's neighborhood overnight, making 5 arrests and then more overseas. Authorities also examined that bomb used in Monday's attack. That device intricate enough to signal a broader terror threat. British authorities working to untangle a web of suspected terrorist activity at home, and the investigation stretching abroad. The Associated Press reporting that Libyan security detaining the brother of concert bomber Salman Abedi in Tripoli. Manchester police raiding several areas of the city, arresting 5 people believed to be connected to Monday's bombing.
You know, the fact that he's been able to live there for so long and, you know, sort of live under the radar and live in obscurity it's appalling.
But Abedi was known to British intelligence, at one point monitored as a possible terrorist. The 22-year-old using an improvised explosive to turn a concert into a scene of senseless carnage. An examination of the deadly device leading police to confirm involvement by a broader network, causing authorities to raise the terror threat level to critical, the highest on the scale.
I think it's very clear that this is a network that we are investigating.
Fears of a broader terrorist plot prompting the deployment of hundreds of soldiers to guard high-profile sites like Buckingham Palace and 10 Downing. Armed police patrolling highly trafficked civilian areas, and uneasy public returning to the streets, pausing to remember the victims.
There's nothing that any of us can really do from this end, but you just want to do something, and even if it's just a few flowers, just to say, you know, we care.
And for law enforcement, personal tragedy. Manchester police confirming one of their officers was among those killed in the attack. We also know 20 people right now remain in the hospital in critical condition. Calvin.
Okay, thanks a lot, Janine. Our live team coverage moves to Boca Raton, where we have learned Ariana Grande is postponing her tour for the next couple of weeks.
Local 10's Christian De La Rosa is right there in Boca to continue our team coverage outside the pop star's home. Christian.
And sources inside her neighborhood tell me that she has been inside her home and has not come out since arriving there yesterday. Neighbors telling us they are really sad for her, but they're also telling us why they're upset. Ariana Grande in mourning inside her mother's home. Her neighbors also saddened.
It brings it really close to home when you have somebody that close here that just was there.
Sources telling Local 10 News police have increased security in and around the pop star's gated community. The paparazzi parked and waiting to get a shot of the South Florida native since she arrived home Tuesday from Manchester.
Anything, they've just been standing over there with binoculars.
Kathy Bloom lives in the neighborhood.
The one issue I do have is that they're trying to capitalize on a major tragedy out of, Manchester, and I don't think for profit is a very good thing to do at all.
Grande's performance is now postponed. Her management telling ABC News, quote, due to the tragic events in Manchester, the Dangerous Woman tour with Ariana Grande has been suspended until we can further assess the situation and pay our proper respects to those lost. The London O2 shows this week have been canceled, as well as all shows through June 5th in Switzerland.
She's grieving too, like everybody, the whole world is, and I think we need to just let her be over there with her family and leave her alone.
And we're standing by for any updates on her tour. Any new information we will pass along live and on local10.com. That's the latest here in Boca Raton. I'm Christian De La Rosa, Local 10 News.
Okay, Christian, thanks a lot. Another busy day for President Trump overseas, meeting with Pope Francis and touring the Sistine Chapel before jetting off to Belgium. Meanwhile, back in Washington, members of Congress are reacting to the president's budget plan. Local 10 DC Bureau Chief Ross Palumbo live now with more on all of this today. Ross.
Well, Calvin, we have some breaking news to report to you tonight on health care. The Congressional Budget Office just came out with its nonpartisan scorecard a few minutes ago. It says under the current Republican plan that you'll remember passed the House just a few weeks ago, that 23 million Americans would probably lose coverage over the next 10 years. That's down just slightly from 24 million under the first Republican plan. And when we consider what the deficit reduction is, the first plan was about $150 billion. This new plan a little less at $119 billion. Those numbers just coming in. We'll have much more tonight at 6. Okay, on to the budget. A lot of controversy surrounding that today on Capitol Hill from both sides of the aisle.
Your values and your boss's values are appalling.
From South Florida Democrats.
You described it as the taxpayer first budget. I describe it as the taxpayer shaft budget.
To Republicans.
Will the president's budget mean that Medicaid gets $1.3 trillion less than it would otherwise.
In the CBO baseline score, the answer is yes.
To the people.
It's not a war on poverty, it's a war on poor people.
The budget proposal already under attack for coming up hundreds of billions of dollars short on social programs.
We are not going to kick any deserving person off of any meaningful program. We want to help people just as much as you do. Republicans care about poor people as much as Democrats, just the same as we care about clean air and healthy drinking water.
The president even feeling the kick far away in Belgium, just ahead of his first NATO meeting, landing in Brussels, a city he once called a hellhole. Just hours earlier, meeting with Pope Francis at the Vatican, pleasantries were exchanged, but both openly disagree over immigration, the Pope calling the wall unchristian, then candidate Trump firing back.
For a religious leader to question a person's faith is disgraceful.
None of that today. As the president and first lady tour the Sistine Chapel. But the Pope and president also disagree about economic policy and climate change. And half a world away at the Capitol today, where the president wants to slash the EPA's budget by 1/3, that controversy is close at hand.
It was just reported this morning that in their meeting, Pope Francis gave President Trump a copy of his encyclical on climate change and the environment. If President Trump reads the Pope's writings, I'm confident he'll not withdraw from the agreement.
Well, on to Mike Flynn right now. The House Intelligence Committee reporting that Mike Flynn has declined to voluntarily release the documents that they have requested. They will now subpoena him. You'll remember, Laura, that the Senate Intelligence Committee tried to subpoena those documents, and Flynn declined that as well. So we'll see how this attempt goes in the House. Now, both chambers are trying to get these documents from him. Any new developments, we'll get it out to you. For now, though, it's the very latest Live on the Hill. Back to you.
Let us know if we need to get right back to you, Ross. Thank you. And we're now hearing from relatives of a young man killed in a gas station inferno last night in Dania Beach. The victim losing control of his car before slamming into a gas pump. Local 10's Nikki Mohan is live for us with the very latest. Nikki.
His family devastated. People here in this entire neighborhood still traumatized. Look at the mess left behind. Such a high impact. What a huge explosion. And even the people that ran to help him couldn't. Cell phone video shows the intensity of the flames engulfing 18-year-old Ricardo Villedo. Villedo reportedly lost control of his Ford Mustang near the intersection of Southeast 7th Street and US 1 in Dania Beach, crashing into a gas pump Tuesday night.
I heard like a scraping sound and like a boom, ran over to the window.
This is what, 5 seconds, not even? I look over and I can already see flames coming out of the car.
Scott Robb saw it happen and ran and grabbed a fire extinguisher.
I looked at the gauge, the fire extinguisher was empty. I looked around for another fire extinguisher. That was when I saw the emergency shutoff button over on the wall, and the employees were standing there with their phones. So I ran over, not knowing if anybody had hit the button. I hit the button, and that's when all the lights and the power went off to the pumps.
By the time fire crews got there, it was too late.
He's a good kid, hardworking kid.
Henry Gutierrez says Villedo was his wife's little cousin, had just moved from Arizona to South Florida 8 months ago, and was holding down 3 jobs to help his parents in Honduras.
I don't know what was going through his mind.
Family members gather to grieve at where their loved one lost his life. Good Samaritans wish they could have done more.
It's upsetting to sit there and watch something like that and know somebody's still in the car and you can't help them. Everybody's around with their phones to videotaping, but nobody's trying to do anything.
Yeah. The cleanup out here continues. We've asked the folks in the gas station. We've reached out to them with several questions. One, why was a fire extinguisher possibly not working? The other, why didn't employees run to hit the automatic stop? Of course, all this will also be looked into by fire investigators. Meanwhile, the family is working with the county to get that young man's body back to Honduras. I'm live in Dania Beach. Nikki Mohan, Local 10 News.
Nikki, thank you. A serial rapist who escaped custody is now back behind bars. Randy Early was recaptured last night after being on the run since Saturday when he slipped away after being discharged from Jackson Memorial Hospital. Police say the 51-year-old does have a history of sexually assaulting women, but he's been living in a court-monitored home after he was deemed incompetent to stand trial due to mental health issues.
Still to come today, more violence in the streets of Caracas. Riot police and anti-government protesters battling in the streets. Police using full body shields to protect themselves while the demonstrators have their own homemade shields. We'll show you more coming up at 5:30.
Also ahead, a lot of people and a lot of events happening on Miami Beach. We'll show you how to get around all the traffic this weekend.
And I'm Victor Okendo in the video port with a high school fight that could have turned deadly. It may look like these two girls were just punching one another, but one of them is actually stabbing the other. More of this when Local 10 News comes right back.
And tonight at 11. Hey, that's not kosher.
You had a roach issue. You had food out of temperature.
Yes. Upscale market, not so high standards.
What do you say to customer?
We never had a report like that.
Dirty dining.
We try to keep it clean.
Actually, that's everybody's standard.
Tonight at 11 on Local 10 News.
Welcome back. We have shocking video from the Chicago area. Two girls fight in the hallway of their school, but one of these girls is actually using a weapon. Let's go to Victor now in our video port to explain. Victor.
Calvin, it might look like a fist fight between two teenagers, but police say that one of those girls actually had a pair of scissors in her hand and was using those scissors to stab the other girl repeatedly. This was more than just a regular high school hallway fight.
I guess we just started throwing punches.
Destiny Garza, the girl in the black t-shirt and shorts, says she was attacked.
I felt something, but I didn't know it didn't feel like a punch.
It wasn't.
She just kept stabbing me, I guess. I didn't know she had the scissors in her head at all. That girl was landing them from my daughter's face and her chest and not stopping.
Video on social media shows the hallway brawl surrounded by swarms of students rolling on their cell phones. It was a student, not a school staff member, who stepped in and pried the scissors from the other girl's hands.
I have a lot of punctures all over my body, like all on my shoulders right here.
And on top of it, nobody came to save my daughter where she should be safe. Nobody was there. Nobody.
In a statement, a school district spokesperson says, in part, the fight lasted approximately 35 seconds and goes on to say, we will utilize appropriate school procedures to ensure each student's due process rights are provided, and we will then determine what school consequences will be issued.
That girl showed no remorse. She was out to kill my child, and they're handling it as if it's just another fight.
The girl with the scissors was arrested. Police say that she will be taken to juvenile court on an aggravated battery charge. Lori and Calvin, I'll send it back to you.
Shocking is an understatement. Okay, thanks a lot, Victor.
Let's turn outside. We need to figure out this weather situation. It's getting pretty gloomy and stormy out there.
It's going to be with us for some hours now. Let's check in now with Betty Davis to find out how severe it's going to get, Betty.
The air is so thick, and storms that do push severe limits may pack damaging winds. Won't rule out hail or isolated tornado, but so far that's not happening, although we are starting to see some showers develop out there. It's 87 degrees in Fort Lauderdale. It feels like 95, winds from the south at 16 miles per hour. The forecast between now and 7 will keep some clouds around, and between 7, 9, 11 o'clock tonight, we're going to watch that Doppler radar as Broward County is under that severe thunderstorm watch. And that is where the balance of the rain and storms are starting to develop as far as our area is concerned right now. So let's go straight into Broward. That severe thunderstorm watch in effect until 11 p.m. Palm Beach County also underneath that severe thunderstorm watch. Right now what we have going is just a scattering of showers out there. Earlier we had a storm that was generating some lightning heading up into Palm Beach County, but that one seems to have weakened a bit. So what we're dealing with right now, just breezy conditions in general, and then these scattered showers out there which may pack a little puff of wind too, but nothing severe, as I said. So from about Weston to Coral Springs, we'll have a few of these showers moving in. Sunrise as these showers move off toward the northeast. It looks like you're going to get into some of that also around the Deerfield Beach area. So scattered showers for now. We're just going to have to wait and see how strong anything gets that does develop. As far as Miami-Dade, a lot of your neighborhoods are dry. It's primarily north central and western Miami-Dade where we have a few of those showers developing. You're not under a severe thunderstorm watch, but we're still going to watch the radar pretty closely for you. And then comes a line of storms that's now extending from Fort Myers off toward the Gulf of Mexico. That line, as we're moving into tomorrow, is something we're going to have to watch the evolution of. Forecast models had been pushing that through early in the morning. Now this model seems to be sort of breaking that line, but at some point tomorrow it still does offer up the opportunity for some scattered showers and storms for South Florida, for Broward, Miami-Dade, and the Keys. Therefore, we're going to maintain that chance for showers and storms tomorrow as well. And then finally, we're getting drier for our holiday weekend. By the way, hurricane season starts June 1st. It's almost here. We want to get you ready, so make sure you watch our hurricane special, Staying Storm Safe. That's going to air this Friday night at 8 p.m. 8 p.m. Friday night. See you there. Lori?
All right, we make it a date.
That's right.
Thanks so much, Betty. An unsettling interaction in Miami-Dade Bond Court today. A man resembling the Joker goes before a judge. We'll tell you the scary crime he's accused of committing at 6.
Favoritism. Is this favoritism towards your campaign manager?
Absolutely not.
A Broward judge under scrutiny today. Investigator Bob Norman going to court in search of the truth behind her campaign. Don't miss his special investigation coming up.
Plus, one pediatric cancer patient is getting a dream trip to Cuba to meet his grandparents for the very first time. Don't miss Hatzelbella's heartwarming story, all new at 6.
An old friend returns to the Miami Dolphins, but Anthony Fasano says there's one major difference with these Fins. He explains the change next on Sports.
And tonight at 11.
My son was shot 6 times.
Gun violence in South Florida.
They put the gun in my head.
And he barely survived.
Did you think you were going to die?
Now his mom is demanding action. Amy Viteri goes to the city for answers. Tonight at 11 on Local 10 News. Local 10 Sports with Will Manso.
Anthony Fasano brings great perspective on how much things have changed for the Miami Dolphins. The tight end played for the team during Ryan Tannehill's rookie year. Now he returns to find Tannehill growing under new head coach Adam Gase. The Fins are just 2 days into organized team activities, but as Clay Farrow find out, Fasano already likes what he sees.
Things have certainly changed for the better over the last few years for the Miami Dolphins, and perhaps there's nobody better to point out those changes than Anthony Fasano, who is back with the team after 4 years away. He says that the biggest change he sees with the franchise now from the last time he was here is the increase in competition.
The tempo of practice, the willingness to work. Not that it was lacking in the past, but it's exceptionally high right now.
Fasano's last year in Miami, his first time around, was also the rookie season for quarterback Ryan Tannehill. And while head coach Adam Gase deserves a lot of the credit for the Fins' new competitive fire, Fasano says he first noticed the change at a throwing session organized by Tannehill back in March.
Most everyone came, and everyone was on the same page pretty quickly. And where I've been, that really doesn't happen in March. Even as a rookie, I thought he was very poised and had great leadership qualities, but that's just grown. I think he's vocal. He's definitely the team leader, and everyone knows it.
On Thursday, we actually get our first look at the 2017 Dolphins. It's the first day of organized team activities that are open to the media. The big story, of course, will be Ryan Tannehill and how does he look as he tries to come back from that knee injury that ended his 2016 season. For now, at the Dolphins training facility in Davie, I'm Clay Ferrero, Local 10 News.
Clay, thanks. We look forward to that tomorrow. Meanwhile, the Dolphins just moments ago announced that they have signed first-round pick Charles Harris. That means the Dolphins' entire rookie class, the draft class of 2017, is now signed, sealed, and ready to deliver on the football field.
Yeah. He's a big boy. He's going to be joining Ndamukong Suh and who is the other gentleman? The big guy, Wake.
Oh, Cam Wake. Really? Yeah, he's going to learn from two of the best. But by the way, he's also going to get a pretty paycheck. It's a good day for Charles Harris. Put it that way.
There you go.
That makes all those hits a lot better. Thank you, Will.
Still to come, Memorial Day weekend is almost here, and it's going to be a busy one.
Victor and Janita in the newsroom with a look at what's next at 5:30.
Lori and Calvin, it is always packed on Miami Beach, but this weekend is going to be something else. Besides all the tourists coming in for the long holiday weekend, there's also a major sporting event and an air and sea show going on. We'll tell you how to navigate it all.
Another scary day of violence in Venezuela. Heavily armed police on motorcycles squaring off with angry protesters armed with rocks and bottles. We'll have a report from Cody Weddle in Caracas.
Plus, The Bachelorette is dishing about the guys hoping to become Mr. Right. Local 10 News will be coming right back after this short break.